Okay, all right. All right. I'd prefer just to talk without a microphone. Can you guys in the back hear me? I tend to be pretty loud, so it'll be all right? Good? Great. All right, so Flash to HTML5. All right, so first, you know who we are if you don't know. Founding principal Blue Cadet. This is our website. Yeah. So we're an interactive design studio, 2007. 14 of us over in Northern Liberties, right off the piazza. We work with a lot of museums and cultural institutions primarily, doing a lot of interactive. We also have a lot of Tyler people over there, by the way. We win a lot of awards, which is nice because it means we get more work. So our work, this is something we did for Mural Arts. This is a very sort of deep experiential Flash site. This is called Mural Explorer. Lots of social integration, cool stuff. This is another site we did for Doctors Without Borders in the 7 Photo Agency called Star for Attention that we localized into 9 languages. And this was also a very experiential Flash site, which we actually rebuilt as one of those long scrolling HTML sites for practically no money, but it won a bunch of awards, which is nice. Philadelphia Orchestra, we did this, nice Drupal site, American Revolution Center, again, like more, institutional HTML sites. This is some jQuery mashup, interactive mapping for American Revolution Center. We're gonna get to the meat soon, don't worry. And then this is Atlas Obscura. This is a site that's actually being developed right now. It's kind of the Yelp of the weird, but it's a big kind of Yelpish site of very weird places. We're very excited about this when it comes out. So let's talk about Flash to HTML5, okay? So first and foremost, the very basis of the talk is a total lie. There's no easy transition from Flash to HTML5, and nor should there be, and we'll explain that. So this is kind of the real problem, okay? So we have clients. Our clients are very smart, savvy people, but they come to us and they're like, they give us a pile of websites that they love, and like 70% of them are Flash. They're like, we want something really rich and experiential. And they're like, but we told, we want all this stuff, but Flash is dead. So we want you to do an HTML5. And we're like, oh God. So how did we get there? So I'm going to give you a real simplified kind of my own sort of conspiracy theory of all this. You guys know, everyone know the FWA? Do you guys know about this at all? Okay. So this was like one of the sites. It's still a very active site that would kind of track agency sites. Lots of like really sort of slick, flashy websites created by big agency for big brands. Really, really beautiful usage of Flash. It was real. I think as its heyday, this was like an incredibly, incredibly important, central, influential site. And the stuff on here was beautiful. This was an example of a Flash site that won the Site of the Year by North Kingdom called Get the Glass. And this was like this really rich, experiential 3D gaming thing that they did. They actually built this. This was actually like a model that they built. It was just awesome. And it's just an incredible type of project, all done in Flash. This is a project that we did for the Lincoln Memorial a little while ago. This is a site that you could almost see. It's possible that this could be done with sort of today's standards technologies. But okay, so this is we had some video player. Frankly, these days we probably use Vimeo or something like that because that's kind of the way to do it. But it was like this kind of, it was rich and experiential. And I'll show you the part right about here where this would be pretty tricky to do in sort of standards technology. So you'd actually click in, you'd go around. It was there we go. And we created these 360 spherical panoramas. You click into zoom, and it doesn't really show it off that well. I'm going to redo the screen thing later. Okay, but anyway, so this was like the type of like really experiential Flash site that we used to do. We still love kind of doing. But the hard truth is that many, if not most, Flash sites do suck. The barrier to entry to producing Flash is actually really, really low. You can kind of jump on the timeline, a little bit of ActionScript, and you're kind of going, and you can create something freaking awful. When the other shoe dropped, okay, so the Flash killer. I mean, Rob knows this. For years they had these big Flash conferences like Flash Forward, and like Microsoft would take you up to a hotel room and show you the next Flash killer, and they had always sucked. I mean, it consistently sucked, and you're like, it was pathetic. But there's finally the thing that kind of killed Flash was in part the bad sites that were developed in it, but also our friend Steve. He kind of came after it. So this is a very famous treatise, Thoughts on Flash. I encourage you to read this on your own time. It's online. It is very available. But here are some pullaways. Flash was created in the PC era for PC and mice. Flash is successful because of Adobe. You guys can read this, right? Do you need to read this? Okay. New open standards created in the mobile era, such as HTML5, will win on mobile devices and PCs too. Perhaps Adobe should focus more on creating great HTML5 tools for the future, and less on criticizing Apple for leaving the past behind. Okay, so basically what the summary is, of this letter was, I'm not letting Flash in the iPhone. So you won't be able to run Flash in the iPhone's browser. So that's Safari. Okay? And you won't be able to make apps with anything except Apple's tool, aka Objective-C. He later had to kind of backtrack on this. So he didn't want anybody to be able to build apps in anything but Objective-C, which is Flash's tools. And Adobe Flash is bad because it's proprietary, which is hugely ironic because he wanted people to basically develop all of the apps in Objective-C. So there's a big irony there. Use HTML5 if you want to build something for the mobile browser. That's really what he was saying. But how this was interpreted by many and how this kind of trickled out into the larger community was, I should stop using Flash. Instead, I should build sites in HTML5. This way I'll have something awesome, like those Flash sites, but it'll run on an iPhone and an iPad. And that was like the big, this is the big takeaway, and it's fucking wrong. I'm sorry, it's wrong. Sorry. So you might say, Josh, screw you, man. I came here to learn HTML5 and how to make this transition myself, and all you've done is tell me that that's not great. I'm not framing my question correctly or my ambitions correctly. So, all right, you want to learn HTML5. This is what you have to do. Go to Modernizer, pick up the Modernizer framework. This is an HTML5 framework that basically allows you to implement a lot of the tools that a lot of the new elements that HTML5 offers, but then also allows for some degradation to other techniques for browsers that are not compatible. So dig into this, you'll learn some great stuff. And then also you can get a P code. It's sort of like lynda.com, but much further down the rabbit hole into the dev world. And it's again, little video tutorials, and they go into the real depth of these JavaScript libraries, and they go really into HTML5 type of things, and I'll kind of help you along that way. Or I'll put together another lecture about what HTML5 actually is, if there's any real interest in that. Okay, so thanks so much. Any questions?